Hello everyone, welcome back to the Grand Prix Podcast. I'm Elton, this is Andy.
Hello.
And we got a bloody, in my opinion, a bloody good race to report on this time.
Thank. After Russia? Oh.
This,
thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, this was like a finger up the bum, really, wasn't it?
Well, I was going to go with balm for the soul, but yeah, your thing works too, I suppose.
Yeah, just in case people listening for the first time or listening for the 10th time or whatever, we may have swears and rude comments like we just had, and that'll be throughout the whole episode. So if you're squeamish, if you have children around, I'd say get rid of them. And not forever, just for...
Well, I was going to say, that seems a bit extreme.
Yeah, don't sell them or anything, crying out loud.
Yeah.
But maybe remove them, or maybe save this for a quiet time later on. Maybe you're drifting off to sleep, and there you've got us to help you drift off to sleep.
Yeah, you're just lying there, relaxing, and all of a sudden Elton comes into your ear suggesting putting fingers up your bum.
I can't think of a better way to go to sleep, really.
Good night, everybody.
Right. Anyway, yeah, so that is out of the way. We will swear. If you are squeamish in any way, then you're probably best off turning off. There's your warning. Right. Spanish Grand Prix.
Oh, yeah.
Initial thoughts on the whole weekend or whatever you've seen so far?
All in all, it was what I needed after the fucking Russian Grand Prix. I'll tell you that much for nothing. I mean, it was, yeah. I mean, there was lots of updates coming, so there's always the expectation that things might be shaken up. In a weird way, this is like when the season really kicks off. Yes. If it's that whole, you've got the flyaway races, but it's now when they've. If you imagine that the first 4 races are really just extended testing sessions with points allocated, and it's only now when they can put those lessons, update the cars and do stuff. So that was all cool. Yeah. And I gotta say, I've got to doff my cap to Liberty Media. They are doing a really good job of unpicking the rot that Bernie had let set in. Just all of a sudden it feels like they care about the fans again. It feels like Formula One is embracing us, and that's just a really good feeling, I mean, simple things, just like the whole making the numbers much more visible on the cars. Yeah. It's a minor thing, but you know what? I got to tell you today, I was aware that both the Force Indias and the hadn't done it, and it was annoying me. Right, yeah. Because, all the other ones, I could see easily. I could see the 44, I could see the 77, I could see the 5, I could see the 7. I instantly know the car and I know who's in it. With the Toro Rossos, they've painted a number on the top of the nose, not on the front of the nose. Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at them at the front, it's just like I don't know who that is. Yeah, I think you're right. It did feel as if this was the very first step. This was the European season starting off, and Liberty Media are going, okay, right, we need to set some boundaries and do something about this for everyone's sake. You know what summed up for me? Go on. That kid crying in the stands. No, you're crying. I'm not. But you are. I've got to tell you, just that little thread right there was the difference between Liberty Media and CVC. Yeah, I think it helped. Someone saw an opportunity, saw a kid crying, and went, oh, right, get him down here and get Kimmy, put him in the room. Oh, I don't. It's cynical as all fuck. Don't get me wrong. I love it. No imagining, but I love it, and it's just like you made that kid's week. That kid is now a fan of Formula One forever. Yeah, no matter what. That's just fucking awesome. So, doff my cap to Liberty Media, to Ferrari, to the Barcelona circuit, for everyone to sorting that out. It was just like. That was proper quality. I mean, again, there was the announcement that there's a competition with Airbnb where you can spend a night in the Williams garage overnight for the British Grand Prix. Yep. And it's just like, that's stupid. Who would want to sleep in a garage overnight? But at the same time, that's fucking awesome. Yes, please. I don't care. Hard floor and me and my sleeping bag. I like to sleep in on Sundays, so they can just be working on the cars around me. That's fine. Amazing. I love that.
it's something that never happened to me. But
right, I just put. I need to settle this right here and now, okay, Elton? I like to be the little spoon.
Okay,
so we're clear on that, all right?
Yeah, that can be arranged. Don't worry. Oh,
but
man.
yeah, it's Liberty Media. They feel like they're being proactive. It's not the status quo. It's not how much money can I gouge out of each individual circuit. And that's just great, you know.
You can feel the change already.
You can. I mean, again, you know, we spoke about it at length last time because, like, fuck, we're going to talk about the race. But the whole Alonso doing Indianapolis thing, that would never have happened in a bajillion years under Bernie. But it's going ahead. And again, there was excitement. I mean, hell, I'm pretty sure that happening is what gave Alonso a bloody kick up the arse to go an extra mile. I mean, hell, spoiler alert, but he actually finished the race, you know?
Flipping hell, yes.
So it all of a sudden it feels like a breath of fresh air. It feels like, yes, Formula One's going to be okay. We're going to be all right.
I hope so. I hope they'll move in the right directions. And I don't mind a bit of the pulling the kid crying into the garage and helping him out, because that makes, as you said, that kid is going to be a Formula One fan for the rest of his life. And so are his family that went along with him as well and enjoyed that. And you need that every now and again, I feel. You need to humanize it a little bit. And the kids need to be involved. The kids need to love it, not just like it.
Well, you remember Bernie famously said he doesn't care about, you know, young fans. His market is 60-year-old men buying Rolex watches.
Yeah. And them days are gone now. Days are gone. The people you want to get involved are the people with a phone in their hand.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the ones that can spread the word for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they're going to be going for. That's their target audience. Someone from, if you can drive or if you're thinking about driving, that is your audience. If they're already a Formula One fan like myself, I'm already there. I'm already going to be paying my money anyway. But they really need to get a younger base into this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way that they're set up to do things is correct, and they will get that. It might take a couple of years, but do you know what? Today was a good first step.
It really was. And again, I'm just excited to see where they're going to go going forward. And hell, I mean, again, I don't know how much of this is a Liberty Media thing, but just in terms of the way stewarding was done, hands off. It's like, if in doubt, don't penalise, which was great. There was at least 3 or 4 instances today where last year someone would have had a drive-through penalty, someone would have been given this, that, or the other, you know, and it would have ruined the race we had. But no, I don't think they were overly lenient. They were just like, that's racing, and sometimes you're going to get a bit of argy-bargy. There was common sense applied to it, which is what I liked. Yeah,
it felt as if the decisions, like last year, the decisions were, okay, right, that is my decision on this incident, give that person a penalty. Someone had to get a penalty somewhere. And today it felt as if, okay, we've looked at the situation, we're not too sure, we pass it up to the third umpire or whoever it is, and then they've made an overseeing judgment on that. And it's as if someone was looking at your work and then correcting you on your work, or just passing judgment on your work and then deciding, yeah, do you know what? You may be a little bit harsh on this. Maybe think about it again. And they thought about it again, and then they passed sentence, and it just helped things flow.
It really did. It's just like, I'm always of the opinion that, you know, penalties really should be they should never be the norm. You know, it should be, if a penalty's been given, something's gone down. It's like, really shouldn't have done that. Yeah. And it felt like that now, you know. I mean, we didn't see it, but the whole thing with Pascal Wehrlein, from what I've heard about it, that sounds like, okay, fine. That sounded like it deserved a penalty.
Well, that's a safety thing, isn't it?
That's a safety thing. Whereas equally so when you had Magnussen and, was it Sainz or Kvyat?
In
Sainz,
what incident?
Coming out of the pits.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like that one. Okay, that was right on the borderline. At the end of the day, no one was injured. They were both in control of the vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Bit opportunistic, perhaps, but you know what? It was great television. It was great watching it.
Yeah.
And we want to see that. We want to see them pushing that hard. So, and again, the stewards investigated it, but they decided, no, don't need to do anything about it. Fine, we're good.
Yeah.
So yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed the weekend.
Good. I thoroughly enjoyed the race. I enjoyed qualifying. I felt it was a bit... The practice and the qualifying were a little dull for my liking. Not a lot going on. Just bedding in the circuit. But the race itself, I really enjoyed. I actually watched the F2 before that as well and really enjoyed that. So, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the weekend overall. The race was so different to Russia. The circuit is so different to Russia, and you're going to get a different result than Russia. But I also feel this circuit showed that the rule change that came in last year is still the incorrect way that they should have gone. They should have gone for more mechanical grip instead of more aero grip. Yeah,
no. I mean, I think that's a given, but I think that's something Ross Brawn is probably going to look to do come 2020 when the next big rule change is going to come through.
Yeah, it just them extending the DRS zone, which I kind of like them extending it or moving it maybe. Maybe move it closer to the exit of the corner so you can open it quicker. And then the last 100 meters is down to the driver. You could even have it closed by itself. You can go past the trigger system, close the DRS. Now it's up to the driver. We've got you in the position to pass that car. Now it's up to you. That's what I feel. But I feel we're gonna until teams really get to grips with this new aero package, which could be mid-season towards late season, and then going on to 2018, we're really going to struggle for real high-intensity 5-6 car races.
Well, we did get some of that in the midfield, didn't we? You know, we had that whole freight train at one point where you had Magnussen, Sainz, Kvyat, Grosjean and Alonso. Yeah. So, yeah, that was, again, it's one of those ones where the story up front might not necessarily be the story further back. I mean, again, potentially if Kimi and Bottas had been able to, keep it together and everything, we might have had much more of a fight up at the front.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, it's just great in a minute having Mercedes and Ferrari being so close. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just happy with that in a minute,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. But overall, really enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed the race for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Should we get into it then? Anything that's happened between this race and last race? You've already hit on it about the number and the displays.
Yeah, they've basically announced that you have to display. Now, I'm not sure about this. I know it's the numbers, but some of them were also showing the 3-letter team, but some of them weren't. So, like, some of them had, like, Alonso had ALO on the side, but Hamilton didn't have HAM on the side.
No. He had a red 44 and a Union Jack.
Kind of a Union Jack, and Bottas had a 77 and a Finnish flag.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, either way, that's fine. It's just, and I'll tell you what, it makes fucking good sense that they're sticking on that fucking horrible barge board thing.
Oh, there's a use for it now, isn't there?
Well, there is. I mean, Honda aren't using it for it, but
no.
And neither are Force India. But still, the point is, at least now, there were instances now when they're coming down the straight, and you just know who it is. I mean, I'm still not entirely sure why they got rid of the fluorescent yellow and fluorescent pink off of the camera
I don't know.
Because that used to be a good way to. I always used to tell Jensen from Lewis in the McLarens back then, because you know the pink was Jensen, the yellow was Hamilton. But
there was in '93 when Saubers first came in. One car had yellow wing mirrors, the other car had red wing mirrors, and I really liked that. And that was a really good identification.
Yeah.
So you could tell if it was Cole Vendinger or I can't remember his teammate. It wasn't Frentzen, it was someone else. But anyway, I really like that. What they've done now, though, because the Williams haven't put the numbers on their the big fin at the back.
No.
Because they've already got sponsorship there. Whereas the Red Bull have put their numbers on, and their ball has now got a tail since last week. It has grown a tail. So, you know, someone pinned the tail on the ball at some point, which is nice. But I think someone's going to come down on them, give them a couple of races, and then go, okay, right, we need this across the board. It needs to be in this position, no questions asked.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. It's kind of like how in IndyCar they've got the digital number display, don't they, on the hoop?
Yeah.
But I'm just looking here at a picture on the Autosport homepage, and it's Mansell Senna. I think it's in '92, and again, numbers big, clearly visible, right in the front of a car, and it's just like, yes, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. I instantly can tell that's Ayrton Senna, that's Nigel Mansell, just from seeing the number there, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm glad that this is something they've done. And yeah, I would like that Force India and the Toro Rossos put their numbers more on the front so I can spot them from the front when they're coming around.
Yeah, the Ferrari you could really tell because they've gone to a length.
I like the retro number board as well on the Ferrari. That's a really nice touch. So yeah. I know it sounds like a little thing, but you know, it's a little thing which actually goes a long way. Yeah,
and it's also that presentation of the person, the driver, and his personality as well, because you've got Hamilton with his red 44. Now, he's always going to stick with that.
Yeah.
Last race out in Russia, Bottas had the red 77.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's gone to a deep blue.
It was kind of like the Finnish blue on the flag, isn't it?
Yeah. And so that is part of the personality come through. Now, it seems a bit cold for me, but that's the way it is, and that's what he wants to portray. So brilliant. That's like another little stamp of, okay, that is mine.
But that always used to be the thing with Nigel Mansell, wasn't it? Red 5.
Yeah.
You know, he always had his number in red, which was awesome. So.
Oh yeah, and especially being a Star Wars geek, you're like, man, red 5.
Yeah, man.
I'll have some of that. But yeah, I'm all for it. I expect maybe next season they'll close ranks on where the numbers can be, because the Force India have turned around and said, because I don't like where the Force India put it. It's almost on top of their air intakes.
They've been called up about it, haven't they?
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they've been called up because the FIA were like, you're actually in contravention of the code. So yeah, they've been given a suspended fine of €25,000 provided they fix it by the next race.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I wonder if that's going to happen for other teams, because Williams have got him on the side pod winglets.
The great irony here is the reason why Force India's done it there is because they have sponsorship over the rest of the car.
Yeah.
They don't have the space like the other ones do. So because they have the extra sponsors, which is ironically why the numbers went away in the first place. But yeah, they just have to get creative with it, you know.
Yeah.
They'll find a way.
Oh, yeah, they will. They certainly will. And they got to decide whether numbers or AOL or SAI, what they want to do. Because
I prefer the numbers myself.
The numbers is they changed a couple of years ago for everyone, for every driver to have their own number, which I thoroughly agree with, and that is
absolutely
that's a way of selling merchandise, and it's just a hashtag as well, isn't it? Hashtag 44, hashtag 5, hashtag 7. It's easy for the phone generation to just tweet that out or use it in some way on Snapchat or wherever. And so I'd go with the numbers personally.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, I hope they find a way to standardize it. I mean, I still think the place which makes the most sense, if once they've gotten rid of these sodding barge boards, is on the rear fin.
Yep.
On the rear wing, sorry, on the sideboards there.
Yeah. Always used to be. Always used to be on there and on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
So your eye would just know exactly where to go. Otherwise, you feel like you're scanning the whole car, not even looking at the helmet anymore. You're just scanning the car to find out where the number is. Now, the Sauber one is big and bold on the side pod of the car, but it's not in a font that you can recognise as a number straight away. Ericsson's number 9. It looks just like a squiggle that is built onto the car. It doesn't really look like a number 9. The font is too different or too extreme.
Yeah.
So they really need to maybe thrash it out with the teams.
Get like a standardized font or something like that, and just say, look, just do it this way, it'll be all good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So there's that. The only other thing, I mean, obviously Alonso doing his Indy 500 we spoke extensively about last time, so I don't think there's anything more to add on that.
Well, he's probably on a plane right now heading back over to the States.
Oh, absolutely. He was on a private jet. He went straight from the pen. He didn't even do a debrief. He was out of there. He was gone.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Cracking his knuckles already.
A little bit. There was an interesting interview with Jenson Button. I don't know if you saw it, but Button pretty much said, yeah, my Formula One career is over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming back to do Monaco, but I've got no interest in coming back outside of that. So whatever happens with Alonso next year, it looks very unlikely we're going to see Jenson on the grid there. Honda, well, yeah, they're not sure they can have their update ready for Canada. And
oh dear,
that one of her engines went pop after 2 corners on FP1.
Yep.
Which actually led to Alonso leaving the circuit before FP2 and went to play tennis, apparently. So, yeah. And then Stoffel van Dorn had to replace 2 engine parts, so he had a 10-place grid penalty.
Yeah, that's right.
That was that.
Renault got caught up in the hacking as well this weekend.
Yes, the
cyber hack.
The ransomware thing, yeah.
Yeah, so that there was at points where they weren't sure whether they would be able to race this weekend, but they got everything sorted. They had data. As long as you're backed up, you're good. You're golden.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, let this be a lesson to everyone. Back up, guys. Back up.
Or use a Mac.
Or use a Mac, yeah. I back up my Mac, so, I'm good.
Well, yeah, I do that too, yeah.
I'm good on 2 accounts, really, so it's all good. Apart from that, lots of updates. Some you could see, some you couldn't see. I know Ferrari had a special steering wheel for Vettel.
Yes, with a special clutch release, was it?
Yeah, a different paddle, which Kimi Räikkönen didn't have. So it's still down to a debrief whether that actually worked. It might just be something that Vettel is happy with and Kimi Räikkönen is not happy with.
Mm. Yeah, we'll have to see on that one. I mean, again, the Mercedes had quite a big update. It's now 6 kilos lighter.
Wow, that's
because it was 6 kilos. It was 6 kilos over the minimum weight. They now got it to the minimum weight, which means they can choose where to redistribute the weight. Mm-hmm. So they can put lead in there, so they can adjust their center of gravity a lot more. A much narrower profile on the nose and some interesting scoops up the side of that as well.
Yeah.
Still, for my money, the best looking car out there, with the exception of that shitty T-wing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I will not be raising to your little digs that just want me to argue.
Oh, you like the T-wings?
No, I fucking hate that. I just don't want to get into it again. I just don't want to think about them.
Okay.
They're just like a horrible movie that I don't want to see again.
Yeah. Speaking of Prometheus, you can listen to our Alien Covenant review on space.jury.com.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Okay. I think that's everything. We've pretty much got it. Shall we get over to the qualifying?
Well, let's do free practice really quick.
Okay.
Because there's a little bit to cover on here.
Uh-huh.
As you said, Alonso's engine went pop in FP1.
In a big way.
In a very big way, and pissed all over the place.
It did.
They carried that off, and it looked like a little horse doing a little wee at certain points, and then it just gushed out. Was it an engine?
It was a.
Or was it a water leak?
No, it was Stoffel van Doorn had was it? Yeah, Stoffel had the water leak, I think.
Right. Okay. No, he had no,
it was Bottas had the water leak in his first engine, so he had to take an old one.
That's right. Yes. What else do we have in FP2? Oh no, Vettel. He thought he had a gearbox problem, but he broke a wheel in FP1, so he had to pull over. Lost a little bit of time in FP1. FP2, lots of people going off and complaining about gusts. This led to FP3 tyre pressures being dropped ever so slightly. But they were given permission to drop tyre pressures, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think they were struggling to get the heat into the tyres. Also, they did come along with some rather heavy medium compound tyres.
Well, they bought the hard compound, was it?
Well, they were racing on the mediums and the softs. So I suppose you could have gone one grade.
Well, they always bring 3 tyre options now, don't they? So you've got the choice between the 3, and they bought the hards, and everyone was like, "Yeah, fuck that."
Well, yeah. So maybe they should have gone ultra soft or super soft, soft, and medium.
Yeah,
maybe that would have been a better way.
Because they basically said now they're not going to bring the hard tyre out again until Suzuka.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of makes you go, what's the point in even having it then?
Yeah. If nobody's going to do it. I think maybe if you go onto the hards, that is the only tyre that you're allowed to do a full stint on, a full race on. Maybe that could be a good rule.
I'd be down for that. You know, back in the day, you had old Alan Prost doing that.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Right. If you want to just go the whole distance, just put this tyre on. You go for it. I wonder if it would do the whole distance, though. That'd be interesting to find out. I'm sure it would do. Okay, what else? Carlos Sainz had parts flying off of his car. Kimi got pushed off by Perez at the point. Alonso said that his engine felt good because he got out towards the end of the FP2. And he said his engine felt good, but it was slower than before. So, another thumbs up for Honda there.
Oh, God, yeah. You know how usually drivers are given cars from the manufacturers, So, Lewis drives around in a Mercedes and, Vettel's got a Ferrari and all that. Do you think if Honda try and give Alonso a Honda sort of thing, he's just going to leave it at the track with the keys in it?
A Civic, yeah. He'd probably just leave it there with the battery running.
Yeah.
Maybe the engine taking over as well. I don't know. What would be their classiest car? That's the thing. Do they own anyone else?
Well, it's probably going to be a McLaren if we're honest, but I'm just thinking if it was a Honda, they'd be like, nope.
No, I can't see him turning around and saying, yes, please, I'll have the Honda Accord, if you don't mind. Can't see that happening. FP3. Powers of B said that the pressures can be dropped, as I've already said. Bottas had his problem. He had a water leak. And he had a water leak, but then they had to change the engine. And they got him out with 8 minutes left of that session to run. So he got a couple of laps in, but that's all that he got in. Vettel stopped with another water leak as well. And they had to change their engine ready for qualifying as well. So they did a sub 2-hour engine change, which he was very happy with, which leads into Q1 where he had some problems. So did you see any of the qualifying?
I saw all of it.
Ah, good. And did you enjoy it, or did you find it a little dull, like I did?
I didn't find it dull, only because of one man.
Okay, right. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute then, because I know exactly where that's going.
Yeah, you know where that is going, but still.
Yeah.
But do you agree? Just that one individual made it interesting.
Yes, that was a nice surprise, shall we say?
Yes,
that was very nice actually, and we'll get into that into a minute.
Yes.
Q1.
Mm-hmm.
As we said before, Vettel had a sub 2 hour engine change.
Yeah.
Went out into onto the circuit, and not even a lap into anything, he was actually thanking the team at the time, saying thank you very much for getting the car ready, and just that, I think that's a nice way of doing it. He's probably said thank you to absolutely everyone in the garage and to get them out, but it's nice to say it over the radio because it's going to be broadcast, and that's going to go back to Italy,
back to the factory. Yeah.
And then they said, stop the car.
Yeah.
Oh, because they had a glitch on there.
Yeah, but again, this is why you need the experienced drivers in your car. Calmly, without losing his rag, without flipping out, he just goes, are you sure?
Mm.
And they're like, okay, bring it back to the pits. So he went back to the pits, and while he's going, they're getting him to try different settings, and he tried one of them, and all of a sudden he goes, actually, this feels a lot better. And they go, well, if it's good for you, it's good for us.
Yeah.
Go do your program.
And he did it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. What I was going to say, a less experienced driver, like the team tell you to stop the car, it's going to stop the car.
Yeah, especially a paid driver or a rookie. I think at least
well, you know what this comes down to as well, though.
Go on.
There's they somehow the Vettel and Ferrari from last year's gone, and there's a mutual trust there.
Definitely.
But it's not a, when he said, are you sure? It wasn't a, I don't trust you. He's just like, I'm prepared to stop, but are you sure you want to do it? Because that's it. We're out of qualifying at that point.
Yeah.
I can get the car back if we need to. So
yeah,
that's good. There's a dialogue going on now. It's not just, you will do what we tell you.
Well, it was the tone as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think last year it would have been, it might not even have been, are you sure? It might have been, oh. You'd have just seen his right hand go down and the
all
car
of a sudden he goes over. Yeah, he sits it down there and start quoting War and Peace, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've just thanked you guys on the radio as well. It's for everyone to hear. So I'm just going to berate you for the next half hour. But,
yeah. Actually, he's just sitting on the side of the road all through Q1, just swearing down the radio.
Oh yeah. He would have had to borrow Alonso's deck chair for that session. But yeah, it's. I don't know. Other drivers would have asked that question as well. I think if they can get it back to the pits, then they will get it back to the pits. But I think it is the tone that it was said, and there's a calmness, and he's just had his engine changed, so he's got that thought of, okay, well, maybe there's something we can do, get it back to the pits. Do we have to actually stop here? That is us screwed. If I stop, then that's it. It's game over. So yeah, it's good that he's got that head on him, and so that worked. So he was able to set a time, didn't he? Ended up setting a time. I don't think it was the fastest time, but he ended up setting a time and putting himself through. So
it was enough to get him out of Q1, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah, Grosjean was spinning.
Right round.
Yeah, in the last
like a record, baby.
There was a lot of gusting of winds around here, and once again, that Haas is a handful, I feel. So, he was all over the place.
I wonder if it was the brakes.
Well, nothing was said about that, was it?
Yeah, but we didn't hear anything from him at all. So
no, maybe he's been told to calm down. Okay, right, mate. All your excuses are gone now. Leave the brakes alone. Kvyat was last.
Kvyat was plumb last. Yeah, was he having a problem or something? Because
I don't know.
Because where did Sainz come? Sainz came in 12th in the end, so... Yeah.
Maybe he's just struggling to get a setup. Not too sure.
Maybe he's having flashbacks to this time last year when he'd just been kicked down to Toro Rosso.
Yeah, it's kind of his team birthday, isn't it?
It is. But Kvyat qualified at the back. Then Stoffel van Droen, who took his 10 grid place penalties, so ended up at the very back.
Mm-hmm.
Then Lance Stroll in the Williams,
which is looking really slow as well.
The Williams was not looking very handy here this weekend. And then Jolyon Palmer, but because you yell at me every time I point out how terrible he is, I won't say anything.
He was very slow. The Renaults were quite slow. They were quite up. I think they were the 4th fastest team all the way through 3 practices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Palmer was 17th and Ericsson was the last one in the Sauber with a 122.3.
Yeah. Okay, Q2. Bottas had a lock-up at turn 1. It's a bit dull. Grosjean made a mistake. This was coming into the very end of Q2 because nothing really happened. Grosjean made a mistake and brought out the yellow flags.
Mm-hmm.
But Alonso was on a hot lap as well. I think he cleared it. And he made it into Q3.
He did!
By the skin... it wasn't even by the skin of his teeth as well, was it? It was...
He was... It basically ended up... He was 10th.
Ah, okay.
But there was no one else... he was 7th and then... A couple of people pushed him down to 10th, but by the time it was dead, there was no one else who was going fast.
Yeah.
The only person who hadn't crossed the checkered flag at that point was Hülkenberg.
Right, I see.
But he was doing an in-lap anyway, so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alonso in the McLaren Honda got through to Q3. Motherfucker.
That's flipping awesome, isn't it?
That alone made qualifying worthwhile.
So that's the first time that a McLaren Honda has been into Q3?
No, they did it last year.
Oh, okay. This year, sorry.
This year, yeah.
So, okay. Is that a step forward?
It's a massive fucking step forward.
Right. Okay. I'm just wondering where this McLaren Honda lies, sits, purchases. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I was really not too sure. So, Alonso's in front of his home crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Really turning it on for all of them. And he wants
what was it Mansell used to say? It was worth a second a lap?
Yeah, easy. Yeah, the crowd is worth that. Yeah. And maybe he's drawing on that. Yeah, he had great support out there as well.
I also think he figured out that the quicker time he set, the sooner we'd be off to Indianapolis. So.
Yeah, let's get this weekend done so I can do some real racing and be up the front somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, so he got into Q3, which is good.
He did.
Who got knocked out?
And that's not even the most shocking bit about it, but we'll get to that in a second.
No, well,
who got knocked out? Pascal Wehrlein.
Yep.
Romain Grosjean. Nico Hülkenberg. Carlos Sainz and Kevin Magnussen.
Okay, so we're on.
So not really anything too surprising there, to be perfectly honest.
No, mid-team, no big.
It's the first time Hülkenberg's not qualified in Q3 this year, I think.
But he's still way above Palmer.
Again, I can't possibly comment on the quality of Mr. Palmer.
Still way above Palmer, and Kevin Magnussen is outperforming Grosjean as well.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, had a good weekend, old Kevin did.
He's been consistent.
Well, until the race, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been consistent. Certainly hasn't been complaining on the old radio about his brakes.
No, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Q3. Very dull, as far as I'm concerned. Very dull.
Again, it was pretty dull. The only real standout moment was the fact that not only did Alonso make it into Q3, but he wasn't 10th.
No, he wasn't. He had cars behind him and everything.
He qualified 7th.
So who did
take a moment to think about this? the 2017 McLaren Honda out-qualified 3 Mercedes cars.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Yeah. And 2 Ferrari-powered cars. Granted, one's a bit older. But yeah.
I was just talking about in just the Q3 bit, but yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah.
In Q3, out-qualified 3 Mercedes-powered cars.
Flipping hell, man.
Yeah. I got to tell you, if he had this level of drive in, hell, I'd say anything from a Mercedes, the Ferrari, the Red Bull, or even the Williams or Force India, he'd probably be leading the fucking championship right now.
Oh, God, this podcast is just turning into a love letter for Alonso at the moment, isn't it?
Which I've got to tell you, a couple of years ago, I don't think either of us would have predicted.
Yeah, do you know what? No. I'll leave it at that. No. Definitely not.
But you're with me on our opinion of Alonso as he was prior to this current Williams stint, McLaren stint, yeah?
Yeah, I think he was a bit of a...
I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, I think he was a bit up his own arse. He was getting a bit up his own arse, and it wasn't really working out for him. Toys were being thrown out the pram, etc. And it was getting a bit boring. But now...
But I tell you what, I fucking love him right now.
Yeah, he's got the bit between his teeth, and when he has that, man, he's the one that you really want to watch. I would pay my entrance fee just to see him drive.
Well, it was quite funny listening to him in the press conference before the races and everything, because everyone always asking him about what is he going to be, and he keeps finding interesting ways to say, "Who knows?"
Well, yeah, he's going to have to come up with some other way of saying it, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
just repeating the same thing again and again. Well, yeah, I might be there, I might not be there. By the way, I'm doing Indy. Did you know I'm doing Indy? Brilliant, excellent. I'm off there tonight. Brilliant.
Did you know I'm driving the best I've ever driven? Please send your offers of drives too.
Yeah. But, okay, during the session on Q3, Hamilton went out, set his first pole lap time, tried to beat it and didn't beat it. The only person who had a better lap the second time round was Vettel. He ended up popping up into second place. Kimi Raikkonen was up as well at that point. He could have got it. He didn't. He didn't pull it out the bag. Bottas didn't pull it out the bag. And that was about it. Yeah, Vettel popped up on his last lap to steal second off of Bottas. Apart from that, quite dull.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It was a bit...
Yeah. So in the top 10, we have Ocon, Massa, Perez, Alonso, Daniel Ricciardo, Verstappen, Kimi Raikkonen, Valtteri Bottas, Sebastian Vettel, and Lewis Hamilton taking pole position. So we'll get to our predictions very soon, but they did do something different this time round. They had the interview on the grid.
Yeah, they did that, didn't they? Yeah.
And...
It was like herding cats, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was... Maybe they should have told the drivers before. I don't know. Yeah, it might just help. But it was interesting. It's one of these things that they've changed, and I'm not a fan of the interviews on the podium, but I feel they've settled down. We've now got used to them, and the drivers have got used to them as well. So it kind of works now.
The thing that annoys me most of the time is whoever's doing the interviews, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the person doing it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, It
is a very
I have personality and I'm goofy and funny and I'm going to ask irritating questions. Oh, fuck off.
Okay, who's the worst person that you've seen do them?
Oh, I'll be honest, I don't watch them.
No? Oh, okay.
Oh, I've just got to a point, I get to the end of a race sort of thing. I get into a race, but it's my point to go and get lunch. I come back upstairs after that with my bacon sandwich usually, and I can sit and watch the post race and the interviews and Ted's notebook and all that. But yeah, no. So as soon as they enter into part of Ferme, I'm usually right lunchtime.
Okay, yeah, I can see why. I like Eddie Jordan as a person. I like him as a team manager. As a TV personality, not so much. As an interviewer, no, definitely not. I think the worst interviews I've seen on that the podium is either from Eddie Jordan, and there was one from Mario Andretti, and it was just dreadful. And you think, no, you shouldn't be doing that. Just because you're a big personality, don't. It doesn't work. I felt the Arnie one that he did last year, I think it was, in Australia, that was all right. It was a bit awkward, but it wasn't as bad as Mario Andretti. He was terrible. So
yeah, I mean, I'd almost rather they just had one person who's like a good interviewer do them.
Yeah, well, they do try to jumble it around between the networks, don't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've had Brundle do it a couple of times. Cool, DC's done it, but
German Sky Sports as well have done it, but they do it in English, so
because it sucks to be them.
yeah. We want you to commentate and we want you to interview, but you must do it in English. Well done. Thank you very much. Yeah. But the interview on the grid, because it's different. I suppose I do like the old press conferences where they get the three lineup, but it's very stagnant. It's very stale. It's very 90s as well.
Oh yeah.
And I think they want to move away from that. So on the grid, I can deal with it. Let's see what happens with it. And it was interesting as well because Hamilton turned around to Vettel and he caught him off guard. He turned around and said, you've changed your start sequence, haven't you? And Vettel just looked at Hamilton like, what? How do you know that? He just psyched him out straight away. And it was brilliant to watch. Now, I'm not Hamilton's biggest fan, but I like that. That's mind games and shit. So yeah, man, I can dig that.
I'm just going to say this straight up. Hamilton's been a lot more tolerable this year than he was last year.
Yes. I wonder why that is.
I couldn't possibly say.
Yeah. Okay, right. Let's get into the race then. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Okay. Well, before that, we have Stoffel Van Dorn. I think you've already mentioned this. He received
10th place penalty. Yeah.
Before the race. Any incidents coming up to that? No, there wasn't. Flipping love this race. I'm just going to say it off the bat. I loved it. Yep. I thought it was action all the way through.
I think the end pieced off just a little bit early. You know, we could have maybe done with Hamilton not getting past quite as quickly as he did.
Mm-hmm.
Or Vettel being able to come back a little bit more. But yeah, outside of that, I just think that the last 5 or 6 laps were just a little bit, because, you know, as soon as Hamilton kind of set that fastest lap, Vettel's like going, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But still, other than that, yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah. Bernie was on the grid just before the race. He looked so lost. He
didn't have his entourage, did he?
No, he just looked so lost, as if someone had dropped him off.
Please tell me, Brundle was just joking with him about buying Force India and renaming it Brabham.
I don't know. Does he own the rights to Brabham? I know he was the team owner or used to work.
I'm not opposed to the Brabham team coming back.
Yeah,
but no, Bernie, no.
He wants to stay in there, doesn't he?
Well, yeah. Well, you know what they say, isn't it? You know, when you're someone like him, you're busy, but when you're not busy, you just die.
Yeah,
you literally drop down dead, and yeah, I think that's what he's afraid of.
Oh God, yes, I think he's terrified of it at the moment. Yeah. I think if he went to his vineyards and sat around there and drank his coffee all day,
started cutting out fake teeth out of oranges.
Imagine over their massive dinner table, him and his wife at one end, and there's Bernie with an orange in his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, Bernie, you do this every day. Every day. Yes, but it's still funny, isn't it? But yeah, he just looked lost.
Yep.
Going on to the parade lap, Alonso was very slow away, but there was some yellow flags for him, but he got away. He pulled up and was able to take his position correctly. which was good. And then we had the start.
Oh, yes.
And the major incident was the first corner incident.
Oh, yes.
In this. And this involved Bottas, Kimi Räikkönen, and Max Verstappen.
Yes.
So what are your impressions on what happened here? Was this a racing incident or what?
Oh, yes, it was a racing incident. It was 3 into 1 will not go. So Hamilton got a good start initially off the line, but in the second stage, Vettel just, had much better traction. He was just gone. He was up ahead. Bottas kind of came alongside Hamilton. Was kind of sniffing around the inside of Vettel, but that wasn't going to happen. Meanwhile, Verstappen had gotten a really good start and was alongside Kimi. And then when he got into the first corner, Vettel and Hamilton dive into there. Kimi's going for the apex. Verstappen's on the outside, trying to go around the outside of Kimi. But Bottas, slightly unsighted because he couldn't get past Hamilton, is right on the apex at that point. He smacks into Kimi, who smacks into Verstappen. Kimi and Verstappen go off with broken suspension, and Bottas manages to keep going. And furthermore, Kimi and Verstappen rejoining forces Massa to suddenly slow down, knocking Alonso into the dirt. So, kind of ruined their day.
It did, yeah, and they had no choice about rejoining the track either, did they?
Well, both of them had broken steering arms. Instantly
as well, wasn't it? It was will to will.
There was a lot of that today because, but they both had it, and Stoffel Van Dorn as well.
Yeah.
And it's got to be said, I can't remember the last time I saw a broken steering arm like that.
Not like that, no. It's been a fair few races, definitely.
I'm wondering it might be something to do with the new tyres, maybe because there's much more weight on them.
Yeah, it could be weight. It's just a geometry of the suspension, though. It's not supposed to be loaded in that direction either, is it?
Yeah, exactly. But because there's more weight on the tyres, there's more load that goes through it in that direction. It's not meant to, I suppose.
Yeah, and you've got faster cornering speed, so you've got a faster impact speed as well.
Yeah. So anyway, both tried to limp back to the pits, but it was pretty... certainly with Kimi, it was obvious that his race was run.
Yeah.
Because, he had one wheel pointing in the wrong direction.
And
so he pulled over.
Huge amounts of smoke just pouring off of that as well.
Oh yeah, it was pretty horrible. When he did finally stop, his tyre looked pretty shagged. Verstappen managed to limp back to the pits, but that was terminal as well, so they were both out there.
Yeah.
And then we had the little fan bawling his eyes out on the stadium. Big Kimi fan is just like, no.
That was mirrored in my house, by the way.
I imagine it was. I was going to say that little kid was actually Elton from a few years ago. She goes, no.
Yeah. There's a kind of time travel bond there, I feel. But yeah, he was picked up by camera. I think it was just before the race as well, because he was on a parent or guardian's lap, and he looked so excited before the race.
Oh yeah, he was jumping up and down. He was on all the sugar.
Yeah, and then then Kimi was out, and it was just bottom lip was out. There was snot bubbles and everything everywhere. It was just disgusting.
It was not a good look.
No. And so that gets picked up later. Should we talk about that incident now?
Yeah, sure.
About the kid, yeah.
Oh yeah, why not?
Because it was during the race as well. I think it was noted. The camera kept going back to him every now and again, and he was quite happy.
Oh, once Vettel was in the lead, sort of thing. Yeah, he was happy. It was the red one. Yeah, the red one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so he was enjoying his experience, or we're assuming that he was enjoying his experience. And Kimi was trudging back to the pits. Then you saw Kimi he was dressed down in his civvies and just polo top.
The only thing missing was the ice cream.
Yeah. If there was a Kimi action man, he would come with an ice cream, wouldn't he?
It would have to, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Alonso would. Oh, see, that's the thing. Alonso would come with a deck chair.
Yep.
What would Hamilton come with his action figure?
An entourage.
Yeah. Okay. Vettel would have a big book and a pencil.
Oh yeah.
Massa would have springs.
Dude, Too soon.
Kvyat would have a Red Bull t-shirt. Oh, God. It's just too easy.
A little bit, yeah.
Too soon for the Massa thing. Really? Do you think? That'd be amazing. Oh, dear. Yeah, so this kid, someone saw Kimi and thought, hang on, there's two people that need to be put together in a room with some cameras. And so they did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as if Kimi looked as if he didn't want to be there. He was, well, I've got nothing else to do for the next hour and a half, so why not?
It was the most animated I've seen Kimi Räikkönen, I think, ever.
He looked quite happy with it.
I was going to say, I don't think he was that happy when he won the World Championship.
No, he wasn't. No, he was actually smiling doing this for this kid.
Yeah.
And bravo, whoever thought of that, well done. Don't do it too often, but well done. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think that's a golf clap.
Oh. There we go. Golf claps all round. Well done.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good then.
Yes. So there you go. Happy ending. And then Ted got to interview the kid at the end as well.
Ah, so I haven't even seen the Notebook yet. So
it wasn't on the Notebook. It was after that. But yeah, the kid, the whole family basically got paddock access at that point. So they were just like, yeah,
they were on the podium as well, weren't they? At the very end.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh man, I want to be that little kid.
You see, you missed out a treat. You need to drag your kids to the British Grand Prix and get them to cry.
Yeah, well, I think that was said in commentary, wasn't it? How many kids are going to be crying in commentary?
Yeah.
No, I'm very happy for that little kid. Well done, and
yeah,
I hope you have a day that you will never ever forget. Never ever forget.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yes, back to the race.
Back to the race. Meanwhile, back at the race. So yeah, we mentioned. Massa hit Alonso, knocking Alonso into the dusty stuff.
Yep.
Pretty much ruined both of their races at that point.
Well, he dropped back down to 13th.
Yeah.
No, 11th, I think it was. Was it 13th?
No, I think it was 13th, to be honest.
It was quite a way down the grid anyway.
Yeah. We had a couple of people pit to try different strategies.
Yep. We had Kvyat and Palmer dropping off their, getting rid of their medium tyres because they're the only two that started on medium tyres to get rid of them. So they went on to their soft tyres. What else do we have? Magnussen and Seitz, the pit stop. This was where they had their race as well. It was before Lewis came in for his.
Well, I was going to say, so what we did eventually get is it settled down into you had. Hamilton and Vettel kind of matching each other. They were gone. Ricciardo out in no man's land.
Bottas
doing his
possibly
own thing.
Struggling a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Bottas was still there at this point. And he was having a slightly harder time than Hamilton was. And then Ricciardo was out in no man's land, just on his own. I'd be amazed if he saw another car all race, to be honest. Because I don't think we saw him watch on the cameras.
No, I don't remember, no.
Yeah, I don't think the top 10 really changed throughout most of the race, to be honest. I mean, we had obviously the lead and bits and pieces there, but, the Force Indias were up there. Hulkenberg did really well. He got himself up into it, which was good. But you had a really good battle down in the bottom end of the points. You had pretty much Magnussen, Sainz, Grosjean, Kvyat, and Alonso all within like a second of each other.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a freight train going through, truly train, as you like to say.
Yes.
Doing their thing. And that was quite interesting, Alonso actually being held up. So again, it's like, the fuck?
Well, yeah, he did have a radio message, didn't he?
Yeah.
Are you being held up? Possibly to change his strategy. Maybe pull him in, have an undercut, give him. Well,
they did the undercut on him. Yeah, I mean, it didn't particularly work, but yeah, I mean, it just seemed like Fernando at least had pace. Stoffel did not, but Fernando did.
Yes.
But that's the story for later. So yeah, it kind of settled into that. We got the pit window came up, and that's when the first bit of interesting stuff happened. Mercedes and Ferrari kind of split the strategies a bit. So Vettel went on to the softs for the second stint, but Lewis went on to the mediums.
Yeah, well, Vettel went early as well, didn't he?
He went early because, again, Hamilton was kind of closing in, and they were talking on the radio about target -5 and stuff like this, and everyone was speculating that they were running out of tyres and probably looking to do an undercut. So Ferrari dived into the pit thinking they were going to go for a free stop, but they weren't. So, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Ferrari need to stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and run their own race.
To an extent, I mean, I think they need to be brave with the strategy to an extent. They need to be aware. Because, again, if they hadn't monitored and Mercedes had done the undercut, then we'd all be saying, Ferrari need to be more proactive on their strategy.
Yeah.
Hindsight's always 20/20. But, yeah, the interesting thing here was Vettel went early. And again, the perceived wisdom is the Ferrari is easy on its tyres than the Mercedes is. But then, when Hamilton did stop, he went onto the slower medium tyre.
Yes, and that was not expected, especially from Ferrari's perspective.
Yeah, it wasn't expected, but it made a lot of sense, as we will see in a bit. And then we had... Because again, I think Brundle mentioned this. Bottas won his second race for Mercedes. It just wasn't for his car by giving a masterclass in how to make your car as wide as the track.
Yes, yeah. Because he had Vettel hounding him down, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He was hounding him down and he was blocking him like a bloody good one.
Oh, it was magnificent to watch, wasn't it?
But it wasn't unfair, I don't think.
Oh, it wasn't unfair. And again, I think the way you can tell it wasn't unfair is you didn't have Vettel bloody screaming down the radio.
No. He did touch the grass at one point, though, didn't he? And it was... I feel if this was last year, yeah, he would have been on the phone bitching and moaning about this. I'm being pushed off the track.
It's because he got past. That's why it wasn't. But yeah, I take your meaning. But still, prior to that, though, it would have been about 3 or 4 laps behind Bottas.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, and
it was, it was slowing him up, and it's allowing Hamilton on the slower tyre to close a 7-second deficit.
Yeah,
I mean, by the time he got past Bottas, Hamilton was within, I think, 4 seconds of him.
Well, this makes more sense to put the medium tyre on in the middle stint, because you can do a longer middle stint on a medium tyre that's going to last longer, won't fall off the cliff.
Yeah.
And it's durable enough to take the heavier car. So your last stint would be on the softer tyres. You have a lighter car, more bite, quicker you go. And that is what Lewis ended up doing.
Oh, yeah.
And looking back on it, makes more sense.
Oh, I mean, we got to doff our caps to the strategy guys at Mercedes. They properly had their heads screwed on today. They played a blinder here. So, yeah, I mean, you have Hamilton on the slower tyre, but because of Bottas, holding up Vettel and then not holding up Lewis, I mean, let's face facts. There's every chance still at this point, mathematically, Bottas could win the championship.
Oh, God, yes, yeah.
Now, can you imagine one Mr. N. Rosberg letting Hamilton pass as quickly as Bottas did?
I can only go back to Monaco last year where he had such a speed difference between the two cars.
But there isn't that speed differential here, was there?
No.
I mean, Bottas was struggling a bit on the tyres, but it wasn't to the extent that Rosberg was in Monaco last year.
No. Today's race was a lot closer, and I don't feel Rosberg would have pulled over as easily as Bottas did today.
As it is right, because, again, every chance to win the championship.
Yeah.
But still, it was... This wouldn't have happened last year. But Bottas, no arguments, no anything, just let Hamilton pass. And again, between that and the virtual safety car, that's what won Hamilton this race.
he knows where his job lies, really, doesn't he, Bottas? At the moment, his first season...
I don't think it's so much he knows where his job lies, so much as he knows when to pick and choose his battles.
Yeah. I think next season you might see a bit more elbows out.
Possibly, but again, I think he knows at this point the goal... Because unlike last year, there's another car in the mix, is there?
Mm-hmm.
It's not Mercedes versus Mercedes. It's still Mercedes has got to win the Constructors. So to win the Constructors, he's got to go pie. I imagine if there was no Ferrari in the mix, it wouldn't have been that easy.
Mm. Yeah.
But that would have been a moot point because then, it wouldn't have mattered. But still.
Yeah. Interestingly, when Vettel did stop for his soft tyres, his first stop, Hamilton then opened up the hammer a little bit and set the fastest lap of the race at that point.
Yeah.
And so he was nice fresh air in front of him, able to stretch his legs a little bit, which also Vettel being held up by Bottas it also helped him out, but he was able to stretch his legs a little bit on his original tyres. Then Hamilton coming in, how many? It was 7 laps after Vettel went in?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
But Vettel's move on Bottas was sweet. It really was.
Oh, it was beautiful. I mean, he threw the dummy, dived down the inside there. Again, bit on the grass, but got it. It was satisfying because he'd been building up for like 3 laps before that.
Well, yeah. Well, he tried the lap before, hadn't he?
Yeah.
He tried the lap before, thrown in the dummy, but he was thrown to the outside to try and go around the outside of Bottas, and he wasn't having it. And he held his ground, and it was good to see. Good to see these two guys battling, and battling hard as well. And then
it always reminds me when people used to criticise Vettel for not being able to overtake, and it's like, no, he can.
Yeah,
he can overtake.
And he knew Bottas was going to go defensive, so he threw that dummy, and he swallowed it, and then he went round and ducked under the inside. A bit on the grass, but like we said, last year he would have been bitching and moaning about that. This time round, it's, okay, look, I'm past him. Forget about it. There's more important things on my plate at the moment. But yeah, that was really good. During that, we had the Magnussen Sainz pit stop. Do you want to talk about that very quickly?
Well, let's see. It was Sainz led Magnussen in, didn't he? Magnussen led Sainz in.
Yeah, it was the Haas first.
Yeah. And the Haas garage is behind the Toro Rosso one.
It was in front.
Was it in front?
Wait, it depends on how your behind works. It was to the left.
As in,
if you're in the Toro garage in the car, it's in front of you, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's physically behind the car.
Right, yeah, okay. Gotcha.
It's to the back of the car.
They're neighbours, should we say?
They're neighbours. But the point is, Magnussen leads them in, gets to his pit window box first. Does he get to his pit box first?
No,
he doesn't. No, because the Haas is ahead of the Toro Rosso.
Yeah.
Because they both come in pretty much identical and leave pretty much identically. Although Sainz got away fractionally before.
Yep.
But Magnussen was already moving. And then Sainz tried to go around on the down the pit lane, but obviously on the limiter, so he can't. But as soon as he was past the line, tried to take a opportunistic dive, as it were. But Magnussen was having none of it and pushed him out of the grass. Well, didn't push him on the grass, but just didn't move, forcing him onto the grass.
Yeah, I don't think he pushed him on there.
No, me neither.
I feel the road gave way to some grass. It was almost like Mario Kart and the shortcut came up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he was pushed on there. I think they both let go of their buttons at the same time. They both went for it. Sainz wanted a bit more tarmac and was not given it. Alas, when they built this circuit years and years ago, they forgot that this was going to be happening. So they didn't lay down tarmac in that certain situation. I think if there was tarmac there, he may have got him into the corner.
Oh, I think he would have done too, but there wasn't, so he didn't.
But
yeah, so there was that, and then there was a call that it was being investigated, and then they decided no action needed.
Thank goodness, because there was nothing to investigate.
Nope.
There was drivers saying that he was pushing me, and he went onto the grass. Science was saying that he was pushed onto the grass. No. You chose to go into the grass. You could have stayed behind, or you go into the grass. You can't cross the white line, so you cross the other white line. It's up to you, mate. But I think it was all fair, all absolutely fair.
Absolutely, 100%, yeah. So yeah, after that, I think Stoffel and Massa.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, into turn one, wasn't it?
Into turn one. Apparently, Stoffel was listening to some audiobook, and it came to the bit where you have to turn the tape over to side B. Maybe he was listening to the Shonky Lab episode about TV cars, available now at shonkylab.co.uk.
Maybe he's listening to Vettel's book from last year.
Maybe he is, but anyway, he got to the bit where you have to turn the cassette around, so he wasn't perhaps paying as much attention as he should have been, and steered right into Felipe Massa, who just passed him.
Yeah. Now, Massa had got a good toe, and surely he knows that he's behind him and going to have a little dive as well.
Well, you could see him looking in the mirrors, so he knew he was there.
So what happened then? He just had a brain fart or what?
I've got no idea. But anyway, yeah, he turned in, clattered wheels with the Williams, and broke his suspension.
Weirdly.
Yeah, exactly the same as Kimi and Verstappen, but the other wheel.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So he was out of the race.
Mm-hmm.
But it was in a precarious situation, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So the virtual safety car came out.
Oh, yes. Virtual safety car came out. Instantly, you had quite a few people dived into the pits, but not the leaders, crucially. And they were on virtual safety car for what? A good 3 or 4 laps?
Oh, it was quite a long situation, I felt.
It was a while. I mean, the car was in a bit of an awkward position for them to recover. And then timed to perfection, as in he hit his pit box just as the virtual safety car ended. Lewis Hamilton took a pit stop.
Mm-hmm.
It was timed to perfection. He literally hit the pit stop as the message virtual safety car ending flashed, and was already heading down the pit straight as the cars were accelerating up to full speed.
Yeah.
Effectively getting a free pit stop.
And there was some suggestion that he may be coming in the lap before and didn't.
Well, yeah, the mechanics were out there, but they held it because someone was basically watching turn one, where the crane was, and reckoned it would take another lap for them to clear the crane.
Mm.
So it was a bit of a gamble, but you know what? It paid off.
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
Because then Vettel came in, was it the next lap or the lap after?
He came in the next lap and swapped, but he had to go into the mediums.
Yes. And you lose all that time as well, that time that everyone's been poodling around on the circuit under the virtual safety car. He now has to do that, but everyone's at racing speed.
Everyone's at full speed, exactly. So he took maximum pain for his one. Put it this way, when he went into the virtual safety car, there was maybe a 7-second deficit between them.
Mm-hmm.
When he came out, Hamilton was literally trying to climb into the cockpit with him.
Yeah, it was. He held his ground, didn't he? Coming out.
I think this was the most borderline incident of the day.
Okay. Go on, talk us through this one then.
So, Vettel's gone into the pits. Hamilton's on the softer tyres, faster tyre, hurtling down that straight at full race speed. Vettel's coming out. Hamilton gets alongside, actually gets slightly ahead into the turn.
Mm-hmm.
And Vettel decides to push him out wide because he doesn't take the apex. He goes all the way to the edge of the circuit.
Mm.
and bangs wheels with Hamilton, forcing him off the road. Fortunately, they bang wheels square on. It's the right rear on Hamilton to the left rear of Vettel. So none of the steering arms were involved, because as we've already seen, 3 cars have gone out because of that.
Yeah, otherwise we would end up with another 2 cars going out.
And Hamilton manages to avoid hitting the speed bumps, so he doesn't have to go around the they got a what's it called
they got a little bollard, haven't they?
That's the word, a bollard. They got a bollard,
much like Russia.
So he doesn't have to go around that bollard, so he can rejoin straight away. But it was just, that was an act of desperation on Vettel's part, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was. He knows exactly what's going to be happening in the next lap.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just trying to. He was putting his elbows out, wasn't he? And pushing it to the nth degree, I feel. Knowing that there was nothing else to give if that was tried again.
Yeah, it was. He knew it was coming. He just wanted to try and hold it off. But that battle was only going to end one way, because you have Hamilton, with a bit between his teeth, on the faster tyres. And I doff my cap to Vettel. He tried his hardest. But yeah, it was not to be.
Do you know what? It's nice to see position on the track being changed for the lead.
For the lead?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It doesn't happen often nowadays, which is a shame. But it's nice, the actual battle, because we've had these battles and we've been teased these battles up front for the lead. Or someone's closing up to driver A and driver B's getting really, really close, but someone else got in the way.
When was the last time 2 different manufacturers were in a position to race to do it? I mean, consistently. Because for the last 3 years, it's been Mercedes only.
Yep.
And then before that, it was Red Bull, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. It was, it was Red Bull, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Red Bull, yeah.
It was Red Bull for like 4 years. So pretty much 2009 was the last time there was like legitimately 2 competitors in with a chance of winning.
Well, we had a couple of seasons dotted around. We had 2009, which was bloody good. 2010, which was bloody good as well. 2011 was just a Red Bull whitewash. 2012 was really good because then we had 7 different winners in 7 different races.
Oh, in the first half, yeah, but then the second half, it just became the Red Bull whitewash again, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. But you had that legitimate power from everyone to actually win the race.
Yeah.
13 was a bit boring because of Red Bull, because they won pretty much every other race that was put in front of them. I remember coming back from mid-season on that, and it was just, okay, Vettel won every single race after mid-season. It was just pointless. We might as well just up sticks, had half a year off, and then come back again in 2014. So yeah,
but still, my point is, it's nice here and now. You have to pass the guy on the track. It's not going to be a team orders thing.
Mm.
You know, we can't order the guy to move out of the way and let you pass. You've got to do it on the track. No. And it's nice that they don't, you know, that the tyre strategies worked as such where it's not going to be decided in the pits.
Nice. It's been teased a couple of times this season already about the battle for the lead up front and it being decided on track as well, and not just a car stuck behind not being able to, clearly being faster. But this was legitimately faster car on faster tyres than a slower car on slower tyres.
Yeah.
And for the lead, it was brilliant. I loved it. Also,
for the most part, we didn't have blue flags really getting in the way or anything like that, you know? Back markers just got out of the way.
No, but we did lap a hell of a lot of people this race.
We lapped a hell of a lot of people, but you didn't have a lot of, oh, come on, this guy won't get out of my way. Oh, he let him through and all that stuff, you know?
No, none of that.
I didn't feel no one got an unfair advantage, you know? I mean, there was the bit towards the end when he came up to Massa, but that was really on Vettel. He went in too hot.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get past, you know, so.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good to see, I feel. It was really good. We had Bottas going out as well. Because his power unit failed on him.
And this is the engine he's been using all season, sorry.
Yeah.
This is raced in Australia, in China, in Bahrain, and in Russia.
And they weren't going to use it this race either.
They weren't, but his other one developed a water leak and they weren't able to fix it in time.
Mm. So they slung this one in.
Yeah.
And it's gone pop. So at least they got that out the way now. It's done 5 races and it's gone.
Yeah.
So they won't be returning to that one anytime soon.
No, they will not.
At all. And I suppose once Hamilton got in front of Vettel, he had the legs on him. He had the car underneath him as well. It's worthwhile saying Lewis Hamilton, I don't know if it was his microphone but he sounded not stressed in the car, but it was very clear.
He sounded utterly exhausted.
At some points, yeah. That might be because of the fast corners and at what point he's actually pressing the radio where he feels safe to press the radio button. But
yeah,
he sounded as if he was drawing breath. Normally you don't get that.
It's true, but then again, it might be the instances of these higher G loads through the corners and everything. Mm-hmm. It's just a bit more.
It was very shallow breathing, as if when an aeroplane goes takes G's, and you have that very sharp, short breathing. They have a breathing technique, don't they?
Yeah,
and I felt that we were getting that through the radio.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So, yeah, I mean when you used to, they get out of, Senna, Brazil, was it 91, 90? Getting out of a thing, looking like he's literally gone 10 rounds from a
Yeah. Pull your mic out and plug it back in, by the way.
That's what she said. Do you want me to say that bit again then?
Yeah, go for it, just in case.
All right. Well, I liked it back in the old days when, they come out of the car and they look like they'd done 10 rounds, with Muhammad Ali. You got Senna in Brazil or Mansell in Silverstone, Mm-hmm. I kind of liked, again, nothing against, these guys are a lot fitter than they were back in the day. Hell, you put James Hunt in the car these days, well, obviously he's dead, but, you put James Hunt at his prime in one of these cars.
And you had to go at me about too soon, crying out loud.
You put James Hunt in one of these cars, sort of things. You'd have a bloody heart attack.
Yeah. Although they probably would be able to steer these ones because of the power steering.
Well, yes, to his that.
But I'm getting into semantics there. But yeah, it was a good battle though, wasn't it? And it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think Hamilton was. He didn't really show his legs towards the end of the race, but he had it clear enough. He had it easy enough.
Oh, he had pace in hand because you could see that again, towards the end. There was some question about whether or not Ferrari would try and do because they were like a minute ahead of Ricciardo at that point. Mm. It's like, do we do a pit stop onto the softs and, if we can close him down at 2 seconds a lap? And almost as soon as that radio message was relayed to Hamilton, he set the fastest lap. Mm. And it's like at that point, it's just like, yeah, he's got us covered. We're second best team today. Let's just take our second place.
Yeah. Okay, so Lewis Hamilton wins the race then.
He did, and I'll tell you what, it was a fucking good race.
I loved it. I would be very happy if that was every week.
A couple of things we haven't mentioned, we'll touch on real quick. Yeah. Pascal Wehrlein got a 5-second penalty in the race. Because he didn't keep to the... Basically, he was racing Hülkenberg, I think it was.
Yep.
And they told him to do the opposite of what Hülkenberg did. And Hülkenberg was going into the pits, but then they changed their mind and told him to pit. So we had to cut across the white line. So he kept it too late, and that's a safety thing. So 5-second penalty, that dropped him from 7th to 8th in the grand scheme of things. But he only did one stop as well.
Oh, okay.
So, I seem to recall Wehrlein was always the king of the one-stoppers. No, it wasn't. It was another Sauber driver. Who was it? Who used to be like the king of the one-stops?
I'm trying to remember. Who was in the Sauber last year? Ericsson.
It wasn't last year. I think it was the year before that. I just remember in Australia, and whoever it was did a one-stop, and you got points for Sauber, and everyone was like going, wow, that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Hang about. Man looks up thing on the internet.
Go for it.
Sauber. Was it Nasser? Felipe Nasser?
Oh, God, we haven't got him in there. Oh, yeah. The names you forget straight away. Wow.
Yeah, it might have been, it was him, or maybe Sutil from 2014. Mm-hmm. Still, it was a Sauber. It was definitely a Sauber, and it was able to just do like one stops, and everyone was like going, how do you do one stops? But managed to do it. But anyway, this time it was Wehrlein, did the one stop, and 7th place, obviously turned into 8th because of his penalty, but still, that was pretty cool. I think...
Well, it's points that they're going to need, and once again, where did Ericsson finish? Ericsson finished 11th outside the pit, outside the point. So
only just though, but yeah, I mean, it's still, and that always counts. You know, if you have teams matched on points, they take positions into account. So there you go. Force India as well, a quiet race, but significant for them. They got a 4th and a 5th.
Yep.
Which means it got a massive lead over. Well, actually, I was going to say a lead over Windows, but Toro Rosso jumped Williams as well. So yeah.
Well, Williams didn't score any points this race, did they?
They did not. Williams had a pretty horrible race. Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on Lance Stroll? We're 5 races in at this point.
He's not cutting it yet. He's really not cutting it. He needs to really up his game. And I think Monaco, he'll do good to finish the race in Monaco. It bites people hard. Look at Palmer. Was it last year he ended up collecting the wall? And not finishing? It bites people hard. And I feel that he's not... I don't think he's going to finish Monaco. So it could be Canada, and Canada's a painful circuit at times as well.
That's his home circuit as well, isn't it, Canada?
Yeah. That's a painful circuit at times as well. So he really needs to get a result. And I'm not...
I got to tell you, in my opinion, the 2 drivers who I think are just not delivering at all are him and Palmer.
And Stoffel as well.
Stoffel I'm giving a partial pass for.
Okay.
For 2 reasons. One, his teammate is Fernando fucking Alonso. And 2, he's driving a McLaren Honda.
I would be stuck to the side of Alonso, bending his ear about everything, trying to squeeze that sponge as much as I could.
Oh, yeah. But, again, that's the only reason Stoffel's getting a pass, though.
Okay.
It is because the McLaren. Because Alonso flatters the McLaren so much and how bad it is.
Yeah.
Let me put this into context. They're currently last in the Constructors' Championship with 0 points.
Mm-hmm.
Sauber are above them now. So,
yeah.
Wow. But anyway, shall we do our top 10 rundown?
Yeah. Do you want to take it?
Okay. In at 10, Roman Grosjean, not complaining about his brakes. At 9, Danny Kvyat in the Toro Rosso. In at 8, down from 7, Pascal Wehrlein, because of his 5-second penalty. At 7, Carlos Sainz Jr. in the other Toro Rosso, highest scoring Spaniard. At 6, Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault. Where was Palmer again? At 5, Esteban Ocon in the Force India. At 4, Sergio Perez in the other Force India. At 3, I forgot he was in the race. It's Danny Ricciardo. In at 2, it was a close fought fight. We've got Sebastian Vettel. But pick of the pops, number 1 is Lewis Hamilton.
Okay, out of that, can I just say, Daniel Kvyat getting a couple of points, getting 2 points for finishing 9th after starting almost last.
Almost last?
Or second to last. Not bad at all. Well done, man.
Well done. Golf clap.
Yes. Also, the other golf clap goes to Ricciardo for finishing 1.5 minutes, a minute 15. Minute 15, sorry, yeah. behind the leading two and not getting lapped. He was the only other person on the lead lap.
He was, although he was literally... Basically, Hamilton crossed the line and was, almost halfway around on his slowdown lap before Ricciardo made it through.
Yeah. He could almost see him. He probably could see him down the end of
probably
the
could have
straight,
done, yeah.
Turning into turn one as he was taking the checkered flag.
Now, you see, the person who I think should get the second golf clap is Hülkenberg. You consider where he started.
Yep.
Finishing 6th.
Yeah, but I feel the Renault had a good car all weekend, bar qualifying. I thought they were doing quite well.
But the sister car would beg to differ. We forgot something.
Go on, what did we forget?
We forgot Magnussen and Kvyat colliding.
Hang on.
Because Magnussen was running in the points. He was running, I think, 7th. And then he collided with Kvyat and got a slow puncture and had to pit on the last lap.
Oh, that's right. I haven't written that down. Damn. My notes have failed me.
You have failed you?
Yeah.
There's only one thing for it. You're going to have to commit ritualistic suicide.
It is done.
Oh, good. So yeah, but there you go. Kevin Magnussen, which was cruel fate. He was running in the points. So ironically, him having to pit elevated Roman Grosjean into the points.
Oh dear. There we go. Okay, right.
Felipe Massa, after 2 collisions with 2 separate Hondas, finished 13th.
Good man. Well, at least he was in front of Stroll. So
this is true.
That's good. I'm going to do the drivers and the championship standings as they are at the moment. Sebastian Vettel is still leading with 104 points. He's leading Lewis Hamilton on 98 points. Valtteri Bottas comes in third with 63 points. Kimi Räikkönen has 49 points. And Daniel Ricciardo has a very quiet 37 points.
Yep, he's jumped up to 5th. He's overtaken Verstappen.
Good man. In the constructors, Mercedes are leading the championship at the moment with 161 points. Second is Ferrari with 153 points. Red Bull Racing are third with 72 points. Force India are still fourth with 53 points. And Toro Rosso have jumped up over Williams, as you said earlier on 21 points. So that's...
You realise Force India... I mean, Red Bull are one bad weekend away from being overtaken by Force India.
They are, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a very bad weekend, by the way. But yeah, I see.
It's a very bad weekend, but it's like wouldn't have guessed that. We were all expecting Red Bull to be a lot closer to the top there.
I think we was expecting them to be third. I don't think we was expecting them to be so far behind. They're nearly 100 points behind Mercedes. Nearly.
Yeah, nearly.
So that is the race. Should we get to our predictions and what we thought and where we came?
Yes, let us do the thing.
Okay, do you remember what you went for?
I do not, because I never do.
Okay, right. You went for pole position. You went for Hamilton. I went for Vettel. You get the point for that because you beat me by 0.051 seconds.
It doesn't matter if I won by an inch or by a mile. The point is, I won.
Yes, you did. And you get the point for that. So, well done.
There you go.
In the race, you went for Hamilton.
Oof.
Oh, there's another point for you.
There is.
Lucky git. I went for Kimi. What was I thinking?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. So totally wiped out of that. So you got 2 points so far.
Oh, yeah.
In the third column, we went for the fastest in Q2.
Ah, okay.
Do you remember who the fastest was in Q2?
I think it was Hamilton.
It was Hamilton. And it was Hamilton he beat Vettel by 0.085 seconds. You went for Verstappen to be the fastest.
Nah.
You were nowhere near. I think he was in 5th, half a second down.
Yeah.
So nope, no points for that. I went for Vettel. Once again, I've been beaten by less than 1/10 of a second.
But the important thing is you had no points.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, still get no points for that. So well done to you there. So you come away this weekend with 2 points. I have 0 points.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so on to Monaco.
Yeah, on to Monaco.
On to Monaco and the Indy 500 as well.
Oh, that's right, yes, because we're going to do a special on that, aren't we?
Yeah, should we have a little prediction on that as well?
We will do, but I'll tell you what, shall I give you some stats for the Monaco?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so in the 2016 race, pole position went to Danny Ricciardo. And the podium was Lewis Hamilton from Ricciardo from Perez, with Hamilton having the fastest lap.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to know who's had the most wins, it's Ayrton Senna with 6.
Mm-hmm.
And the most wins as a constructor is McLaren with 15. I have to say, I don't think either of them will be adding to their tally next time out.
No, I think they're safe where they are at the moment. Okay, so the pole position next time out in Monaco. Who do you fancy?
Oh, who do I fancy next time out? I'm going to be fucking boring and just go with Hamilton again.
Ah, come on.
Or did you want Hamilton?
No. I know where you're coming from that. Okay, cool. I will go for... Tempted to go Bottas. I'm tempted to go Bottas.
Hang about. I can tell you where Bottas came last year, if you like. In the Williams.
Go on, then. In the Williams.
Bottas came 12th.
Vettel it is.
Yes, he had a 10-second penalty for causing a collision with Gutierrez.
Right. Well, I'm going to go for Vettel for the pole.
Okay.
The race, who do you want to win? Or who do you think will win?
Who do I think will win?
Bearing in mind, Daniel Ricciardo nearly won this race last year.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to put Danny down. Danny Ricciardo. Yeah.
Redemption.
Let's go through a redemption story here. Like to see Red Bull get a win on the boards, you know?
It is possible, yeah. Okay.
And actually, if you think about it, because the year before, Lewis had been robbed of a win, and he won it the following year. So,
Rosberg won it, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe this time it's Danny's turn. Maybe he'll rob it from whoever you choose.
I want Vettel to win it. I want Kimi to win it. I want Max to win it. Max, I don't know. I don't think... I'm going to go Vettel. I have to go Vettel. Just to make it interesting for myself. So there we go. Third column. What would you like to go for?
Oh, there's an obvious one. It's got to be.
Go on.
Where is Button going to finish?
Oh, bloody hell. God, yes. Okay. Button. Go on then. Where do you reckon he'll finish?
You know what? I'm going to put the cat amongst the pigeons.
I know what you're going to go for.
I reckon he's going to get a podium.
A podium?
Yep. I'm going to go with third. I reckon he's going to...
You're going to go with... Fucking hell. You're going with third?
Yep.
So there's 17 retirements?
Yep. It's a wet race.
Wow. Okay. I actually wrote that down. Button third. Okay. Good luck with that.
Meanwhile, in the actual world...
Well, I'm going to go 10th. I reckon he might score a point. This is... If what he's saying, that he has no interest in coming back to Formula One, this is it. This is his romp out. This is all that he's... This is his goodbye story, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
So, yeah, a point 10th.
10th. Yeah. Fair enough. So we should probably also do our Indy 500 predictions.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm not au fait with the drivers on. I know some of them on there. I know Bourdais won the first race of this season. That's about it from this season.
I think to simplify things, because I don't particularly know the drivers either.
Are we just going to put where Alonso is going to finish?
Let's just speculate on where Alonso is going to be, yeah.
No. Where's he going to qualify and where's he going to finish?
Yes.
Okay, qualify and finish. Okay. What do you think on qualification?
I don't even know how many bloody cars take part, to be honest.
33.
33, is it? I reckon I'm going to go with 8th.
Okay. 8th, okay. I'm going to go with 6th. I think he's going to be starting a little bit ahead of what you say, so 6th. And the race, how well do you reckon he's going to do?
Oh, well, yeah, that's the question, isn't it? I'm going to go with 2nd.
Flipping hell. I tell you what, if your numbers come in that weekend, you'll have a bloody good weekend. Okay, where do I reckon he's going to... Oh...
Hang on, I'm just going to send you something on the Skype. It's the rarest of all. It's a smiling Alonso.
Okay, let's have a look at this. Is that because he's getting out of Dodge?
I think it's because he's getting out of Dodge on the way to the Indy 500.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, see you later, suckers. I ain't got you for 4 weeks. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. He's literally standing there saying, rule 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Rule 3, yeah. Oh, dear. Where do I think? I would dearly love him to win that.
I'd love him to win it too. I just don't think he will. That's why I'm going with 2nd.
I would love him to win it.
Say it then. Do it.
Okay, there's only one place I want him to finish. It's 1st. There we go. I've written it down. 1st.
Oh. So on this one, it's nearest to the pin, yeah?
Yeah, nearest to the pin.
Well, that's going to screw us you,
let's have it. Yeah, I don't care. Okay, yeah. I think it's going to be a magical weekend, which, if I'm right, we will be together, but we won't be watching it together.
Yes, this is true. Yes, we for both of the races actually, because we're going to be gallivanting.
Yeah, we are going to be gallivanting with each other.
But
not.
We might be dressing up as well, but that's for a different podcast.
So we may be a day or two late on the Monaco and the Indy 500, but rest assured we will be watching both of them intently.
Well, I can't promise intently for Monaco. You know my views on it.
Yes, I do. Yes, I'm sure we'll get the rant next week. I'm looking forward to it.
You never know, it might rain.
Well, yeah, it did last time, so you never know. So, okay, right. So we're all keyed in for the race next time out.
All keyed in.
Are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to most? The Indy 500 or the Monaco Grand Prix?
Oh, the Indy 500.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it just the Alonso factor?
Just the Alonso factor, yeah.
Do you agree with the people that are turning around and saying he shouldn't be leaving Monaco to go Indy 500?
Well, no, because A, he has won the Monaco Grand Prix. He's won the World Championship twice. He's not going to do either of those two things at Monaco. Best he could hope for is a decent points haul. But even then, it's not going to it's not going to turn his season around. Because even if a car works well here, it's not going to necessarily work well in Canada. It's such an aberration. So what's the point? And again, I think short of him getting a top drive next year, he's resigned himself to not getting his third crown. But if he can get a triple crown, that's something for him to... I mean, look at that smile on his face there. It's a picture from a Twitter feed, and it's him on the steps of a private jet with Zach Brown. And I haven't seen Alonso that happy since he won his championship.
Yeah, he's really rubbing his hands at that, isn't he?
He's excited. He's energized, and don't underestimate just how important that is to a driver. He's going out there to prove it to himself and to everyone else, especially in Formula One, that he's still the best driver out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, again. Fuck it, you're getting to that now. Monaco's boring as fucking shit. It's purely on there because people like to go and drink fucking champagne and casinos and boats. We don't even watch the race half the fucking time. It's shit.
Okay, fair play. I'm looking forward to both, but I feel once the Monaco Grand Prix is over, I'll be looking forward to the Indy 500. Alas, I'm not too sure how my schedule will work to actually watch both of them, but we shall see anyway. It's Bank Holiday Monday as well, isn't it?
It
that
is.
Weekend.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. So guess what I'm going to be doing Monday then?
I was going to say, actually, maybe we should get together and watch it on Monday.
Possibly. Could possibly, but we'll have to see.
We'll
I
see.
may be booked into other things.
Yes.
We never know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to both of them. I love Monaco. I love Indy 500. So just looking forward to that weekend.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, right. I think we'll leave it there for now.
Oh, yeah.
We've rambled on for far too long.
Never.
Have you got anything for you to plug away for these other lovely people to listen to?
Yes, at the minute you can catch me on Space Dock Jury, which is now at spacedockjury.com. And also on iTunes and all those good places. It's also on YouTube. Just search for Space Dock Jury, likewise on Facebook. And we just did a mini-sode review of Alien Covenant. I won't spoil anything for you. Just saying that we've done a review of it.
I'm seeing it next weekend, so don't spoil it for me yet, even though I probably know exactly what's going to be happening. So.
Yeah. Well, you can. The first half of our review is spoiler-free, just giving our general thoughts in our own diminutive style.
Good. Okay, cool. You can also catch me and Andy talking about the Band of Brothers in Band of Brothers Podcast, which is on bandofbrotherspodcast.road2.com. That will be returning in June, I think. May has been pretty chaotic at the moment, so we're waiting for May to clear its boots.
We kind of missed a trick, you know. We probably should have started that thing in June. You know, D-Day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, look, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's returning in June.
Yes.
We'll get some episodes of that up and running. You can also catch me on the Black Dog Podcast. I'm the fourth chair on there, even though the guys keep hinting at other fourth chair people. I was turned into you at one point.
Oh, that happens so often. So many people say, oh, yeah, you know, Lee, Peter and Elton doing Space Dock Jury. And it's like, the fuck?
Yep. It keeps happening.
Yeah.
It keeps happening. We're interchangeable.
Apparently so.
Interchangeable, yeah. So you can catch us on that. Please also go listen to Shonky Lab, which is on shonkylab.com. All these podcasts you can find on iTunes and all the other places that you normally vend your podcast and things from as well. We also have a Patreon running for RogueTwoMedia as well. We're very close to actually being able to pay from the Patreons the hosting of the podcasts themselves. So that's very close. So if you want to help us out on that, you don't have to. If you want to give us a review instead, that's more than welcome. But please pop along to RogueTwoMedia.com and you'll find a big Patreon button on there so you can help us out on that. Apart from that, I think that's it. And we'll catch you all in Monaco and the Indy 500. Until then, bye-bye.
Ta-ra.